Once again, I find myself in a situation where people do not accept me, and I have to depend on myself. We have moved to Ferndale, Washington, where Joyce now works at Western Washington State University. I am now 11. When we first moved, we stayed in Bellingham for about 3 months while we waited for our house to be finished. It is known as a rambler. It is a bluish gray, 1-story with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, living room with a fireplace, family room with a fireplace, and sliding glass doors, dining room, kitchen with kitchen nook and pantry, attached 2-car garage with a sprawling front and backyard, and that is an understatement. Our backyard goes out about 40 yards and then becomes this big hill. We call it Devil's Gate, and a lot of the kids in the area want to ride their bikes down it. At the bottom is a creek, and after we cross it, we can go up into the woods that eventually come out at either our neighbor's backyard, or if I walk to the right, I will come to a blueberry patch before finding the main street that can take me to Bellingham. I love being at home. Ferndale is 99% white. Although I have no idea, I am the 1% that isn't. Most of the people treat me just the same as anyone else. Since we moved up here at the beginning of the summer, Joyce has set me up with a piano teacher who was referred by my piano teacher from California. After she found out that I also played the flute, she told me I could play in the middle school band while also talking me into learning the cello because she needs a player for the school orchestra. In my second year here, I am still in the orchestra, but this time I am playing my 4th instrument, the viola. Joyce's best friend from California came to visit us this summer. She came with gifts and gave me an Ouija board. This is a strange turn of events for me, since my mom is considered a religious, hypocritical fanatic, in my opinion. Joyce acts one way in front of her church friends, caring, smiling. But you get these two together, Gina with gin in hand and Joyce with her better than attitude, they could be considered a gossip column for the local newspaper as much as they talk about others. The Ouija board is supposedly a game. Calling and talking to the dead sounds a little boring to me, since I do not really know anyone that is dead. I have no idea who I would want to talk to. But that does not stop me. I went to the library and did research on it, which led me to the topic of witchcraft. Doing spells, now that sounds like something I will be interested in. My mother took me to see Star Wars. It is 1977. It is my first big screen theater experience since I am not allowed to go to the movies with friends. I am still crocheting, but now I am making teddy bears. We have new neighbors across the street. They have 3 girls. They're Shell, Cher, and Sandy. Sandy doesn't like me because I am good friends with Kareem, the boy that she likes, who lives next door to me. I hang out with her younger sister, Cher, and we all have dirt bikes and skateboards and do a lot of ramp jumping in the street. Today, Sandy has finally gotten on my nerves. But I can't act out because I have already been expelled for hitting this one bully with a piece of a 2x4 and taking this other boy's electronic football game earlier this year. I believe this is the perfect time to try out my first spell. I got my spell book and wrote it out in very specific details. When, what I want to happen, where, and how. It is 2 hours later, and the paramedics are taking Sandy away to the hospital in Bellingham. Looking out the living room window at the events from my spell play out, I now sit back in my chair with a smirk of satisfaction on my face. 2 weeks later, I'm watching Sandy get out of the car. My mom says,
"Such an awful thing that happened to her. You should go say hi."
"That's okay." I started to walk back to my room. She shouldn't have been jumping ramps in the first place. About a week later, Joyce approaches me with a book I know very well, my spell book. She has it open to the one on Sandy and angrily asks,
"Did you cause what happened? How is it possible that you knew everything that happened to her? The broken arm and leg, the knocked out front teeth, and the scarred up face before it happened."
She has a look of terror on her face. I just continue to stare back in her eyes without any emotion. "Hi, my name is Cheryl, and you better be good to me." Knowing that she would recognize it from the Twilight Zone's Talking Tina episode, I walked away. Since I have been with Joyce, every year I have to attend Vacation Bible School, summer camp, and winter camp. So I went away again this summer to Lake Wacom. I enjoyed myself. I water skied, canoed, swam in the lake. We had singing, and we made s'mores as usual. When camp was over, I came back home with sun-blonde hair and bronze skin. I had changed so much that my mom walked right by me when she was picking me up. I don't really care anymore about what other people think, including her. I am starting to realize that the only person I can depend on is myself. Most of the time, I just read books. Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew Mysteries are my favorite. I have all of them. Besides Stephen King, there's also Dean Koontz. I love working on jigsaw puzzles, doing crafts, and basically anything I can do by myself. The other night, Joyce had a scare because she was choking on a horse-sized pill, and I was not big enough for the Heimlich to work since my arms could not wrap around her. Luckily, calling the operator in what is considered the country is like a doctor making a house call because some of our neighbors are part of the emergency response team. She then enrolled me in everything from CPR classes to getting a lifeguard license. One of the best things about living in the country, we have a small apple orchard, berry bushes, strawberries, and a garden. Across the main street from us is a cemetery. And down the same road for about 5 miles is another cemetery. And those are the two places I hang out if I am not in the woods. One of them has an area called Babyland, and there is a marker for a 14-month-old baby by the name of Shirley Hall, October 1965. As you can now understand, I feel a connection with this grave. Every week I come here and bring some handheld clippers to keep it clean. It does not have a nice stone as the other graves, and it seems to be in a neglected section. I sit and talk to her for hours. I can't talk to my mom. I feel like she is always lying to me and keeping secrets. Although she tells me that they left me on Mrs. Green's doorstep in Los Angeles, California, when I was 14 months old, she swears she has no information on my birth parents. But things do not add up. If the building that had any information about my birth family burned down like she claimed, how did she know I was born in New York? How did I get from New York to California? Where are my parents? Why does she keep thinking I am Kathy? Once again, my birthday present came 2 days earlier. I went strawberry picking. And I go every year and earn money for each crate that I pick. The last day of picking season, I always participate in the strawberry fight that is allowed with the bad strawberries that cannot be eaten, with all the other kids. And my skin was stained with red splotches all over, including my hair. While scrubbing me with lemons, she started talking. You are just like Kathy, always getting into mischief, and you act like the spawn of Satan. This just makes my determination to find my birth parents grow even stronger. It's 1978. I went to the tryouts for the 13th annual Arco Jesse Owen Games. I did not intend to try out. I came with Cher, who is trying out, and the lady at the registration desk asked,
Would you like to try out for track and field?
"For what?" Her face lights up, and she cheerfully tells me,
Track, which involves running events from short to long distances, and field, which includes strength events that involve throwing and jumping, are competitions in which you would try to be the winner. Would you like to try? Plus, you will learn something new. How about it?
"The good thing is, I made the team. The bad thing, Cher didn't." I ended up making the city team for the events of long jump, high jump, and hurdles, since I took first place in them. After a month of training, I went to the state finals, where I made the state team for long jump, high jump, and the 440 relay medley, since I took first place in them. At the state event, I got to shake hands with Jesse Owens himself after he put the 3 gold medals on me, and with a big smile, he said,
"Great job, my little sister. See you in Los Angeles."
The whole team was white except for 2 of us. In August, I was on my way to the 13th annual Arco Jesse Owens National Championship Track and Field Meet Finals at UCLA's Drake Stadium in Los Angeles, California. I took 1 gold medal and 2 silver medals. I know now that I want to train to go to the Olympics. We have moved back to Pasadena, California, and it is the summer before 8th grade. My piano teacher, Mr. Myers, is still here, and he is the band and orchestra director of the junior high school I will be attending. And this time, he needs someone to play the drums and percussion instruments. Or I should say, he needs me. So he taught me while I played them for the boys' club band. He had to get special approval from me to come into the boys' club since girls are not allowed. I am going to Wilson Junior High School, which is across town. I stick pretty much to myself. My first class on my first day at school was very embarrassing. I had sex education, and I had no idea what it was about. I was escorted to the class for the We Have a New Student introduction. And after I got settled at my desk, the teacher says,
Welcome to the class, Chris. We have been discussing oral sex. Do you have any questions about it before we continue?
"It is Cheryl. What is oral sex?" After all the laughter and teasing quieted down, it was explained to me. The disgusting ew that came out of my mouth didn't help. I was the talk of the school, or at least that class, and offered to be shown by several of the boys and a couple of the girls the rest of the day. Most of my extra time at school is between band and orchestra. In the Christmas program, I had a solo on the timpani, or the kettle drum, for the orchestra, and a snare drum solo for the band. When I am not at school band or orchestra practice, boys club band practice, or my own personal lessons, I am at the track practicing for tryouts for the Pasadena Rosebuds. By the end of that year, I had made myself a white sailor dress with navy trim for my 8th grade graduation. My hopes for the Olympics were shattered today. I had just made the team. I ended up diagnosed with asthma, and running no longer is an option. It is now the middle of summer of 1980, and I am already in the band for junior high school, even though school does not start until September. Once again, my music teacher ended up at my high school. He asked if I would consider playing the cymbals for the school drum section in court. Although it was not my choice, I have agreed to do it. I do not like school. I never did. If it wasn't for music, I wouldn't want to go. I have never been accepted. My mom is still introducing me as,
This is Cheryl. She is my adopted daughter.
so everyone who does not already know now knows she isn't my birth mother. Kids talk about how I wasn't wanted. She just doesn't seem to get it. Joyce was watering the front lawn, and I stepped out on the front porch to ask her a question, and she just gave me the strangest look. I had on some shorts and a shirt, and she says,
Your pillows are too big, and your legs are too long. You're asking for trouble.
I am not sure what she means by that. I go and I look in the mirror. I have dark auburn curly hair. I have almond-shaped eyes. I'm light complected. I have long legs, that's true. And my tatas have been big since the 5th grade when they said I was a C cup. I have long eyelashes, bow-shaped lips. I don't understand what's wrong. How does that lead to trouble? I do it always people ask me, what are you? Which half the time I can't tell them because I don't know myself. It's not much different in high school, except the girls hate more while the guys are more curious. I have always been more accepted by the white population compared to the black population. My very first experience with racism was from a black classmate that had moved to Ferndale the year I moved back to California. My second was a few months later by his best friend who was white. And one day, out of the blue, called me an African bush. I believe they were trying to hurt my feelings, but since I had no idea what he was talking about, because I did not understand at the time that I was a different color, I thought nothing about it in that way. All I knew is that it sounded offensive, so I hit him with a stick. It's kind of sad and funny at the same time. My black classmates are leery because I'm not totally black. The Hispanic classmates don't like that I don't speak Spanish since my last name is Gomez. The white ones don't seem to care one way or another. So once again, I stay to myself at the beginning of the school year. I have 2 female friends that I know from junior high, Sonia and Anna. They are not really accepted either. Sonia lives in the foster home around the bend from me, and Anna lives in Kings Manor, the housing development a few miles away. I am not allowed to go to her home. I have once again talked my mom into letting me stay in public school and not private, thanks to my music teacher. She is not happy. She has not liked the fact that I have been playing the drums. That is a boy's instrument. And she does not like that I am at the boys' club around so many boys and traveling around the state with the band. She has started discouraging my music. One day, not long before school started, our house mysteriously was broken into, and the only things that were taken were my instruments that could be carried and my diary. Rumor has it that the boy Eric around the corner is behind it, although I have my doubts because according to the police, the burglar climbed in through the guest bathroom window and opened the family room patio door from the inside. That would be great if Eric was small enough to fit through the window. Eric was considered fat. Now, Rod, who lives around the corner, is the only one small enough to fit through the window. I can't even get through it anymore. That's how small it is. And I really can't see him doing it.